Hey guys, what is up? This is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and in tonight's movie review, I'm gonna be doing a movie review on this really old '90s family film which came out in 1996, and it's also the very first movie released by Nickelodeon Movies, which surprisingly just turned 30 years old. So happy 30th anniversary to Nickelodeon Movies, and this was their first movie to be released in the summer of 1996. And this review is on Harriet the Spy. Harriet the Spy stars Michelle Trachtenberg and Rosie O'Donnell. And so in this movie, we follow Harriet, who may be the only sixth grade student, but she's already found her calling to be a spy. And she's trying real hard to become both a spy and a writer. In a private journal she takes everywhere, Harriet records suspicious activity and keeps a running list of observations on virtually everyone she knows. It seems harmless enough until one day someone finds the journal and exposes Harriet's critical thoughts about her classmates. Suddenly, even her best friends are against her, and Harriet resolves to take revenge. And yeah, so that's pretty much, the basic plot of Harriet the Spy. So I've heard about this movie for several years, even back in my teen years. I've heard of this movie for years and actually never watched it. But I actually just got done watching it for the first time on Amazon. I actually rented it off of Amazon for $3, and it's actually my first time watching it. And I'm gonna have to say, this was actually a pretty good movie for like a good start to Nickelodeon Movies. Yeah, I actually thought this was actually a pretty good film. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this movie a lot when you were kids at the time. This is probably like almost everyone's almost one of everyone's favorite movies from their childhood. But yeah, as a newcomer to watching Harriet the Spy, I actually thought it was actually a pretty decent film for a beginning of a new film studio based on Nickelodeon. And that's, Nickelodeon Movies, like I just said. Excuse me. And the fact that this movie is also based on a book as well. This movie is based on a children's novel, and I gotta say, I think this was actually like a pretty solid, decent enough adaptation based on the novel. And and what more can I say? I gotta say that the performances in this movie, I think were pretty good too. Like the performances, I thought were not too bad. There's not really that much familiar people in this film, but of course Michelle Trachtenberg was in the film as Harriet herself, and Rosie O'Donnell was in the film too, and she was fine in the film. But as for Michelle Trachtenberg, like I thought her performance was good here for one of her earlier films that from her childhood years. And Eartha Kitt was also in the movie too, and I thought she was like she was there, and she was decent for the most part. And oh yeah, and I'm sure all of you guys out there have already heard the sad unfortunate news about Michelle Trachtenberg. She just died today. Yeah, yeah, unfortunately, Michelle Trachtenberg is dead. Very sad. And she only lived for 39 years, and she was only 39 years old, which is very young. Yeah, because as far as I know, ABC News reported that she was going through complications of liver transplant. Which, yeah, that might be a guess for the cause of death. But as the story progresses, the story behind the death of Michelle Trachtenberg, like police have said that there's gonna be some sort of like autopsy, to see what the actual cause of death is. So if any of you guys out there know the actual cause of death when it's officially confirmed, let me know in the comments down below. But still, it's just so sad that Michelle Trachtenberg's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Michelle Trachtenberg. And of course, her legacy continues to live on as we remember her from our childhood, like this movie, Harriet the Spy. I know, like I said, I'm actually a newcomer to watching this film, which I actually enjoyed it. I liked it. And I just thought that this was good timing to officially watch Harriet the Spy, since since Michelle Trachtenberg is dead and she's gone. But that aside, this movie was likable enough for like a family children's film released in the 90s. And yeah, because even after like 30 years after Nickelodeon Movies was founded, then yeah, it was like talk about bad timing coincidence, a bad timing coincidence that Nickelodeon Movies was founded 30 years ago and Michelle Trachtenberg just passed away. But anyway, that aside, I'm actually here just to share my thoughts on Harriet the Spy. And yeah, and I thought the story itself in Harriet the Spy, I thought wasn't really that bad. I mean, despite the fact this movie got mixed reviews, but maybe I can see where the mixed reviews are coming from. But I gotta say, the screenplay itself I thought wasn't really too bad. I thought the screenplay was kind of like, it might be a little bit off-put, because the source material may not be understandable in terms of like how it's not like really like faithful to the novel. But regardless, overall, Harriet the Spy was a pretty good movie, and I'm gonna give Harriet the Spy 3.5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, I think it's worth a rewatch. I think it's worth a rewatch right now, since I just said it. I just said it, so you get it. So I think this is worth a rewatch, just to remember your childhood. And yeah, so if you haven't watched Harriet the Spy in a long time, then I say this is worth a revisit. Even though for me it was a first time watch, but you get it. You know what I mean. And there you have it, guys. That's going to be it for my movie review on Harriet the Spy. And that's going to be it for this video. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And excuse me. And as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, this is Mystery Crizzy saying goodbye, everybody, and that's about it.